Welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Raider Will, and I am here with my boy from TBH Spoken, Tony B.
You already know.
And
Let's go.
let's go, baby. And we are here for the Raider hookup, baby. And Tony B, what we going to do tonight, baby?
Man, baby, we going to Iowa City, Iowa. Go Hawks, baby. Let's go.
Let's go! Yo, and if you go to Iowa City, Iowa, you got to meet up with my boy, the Ben Raider. Let's go, Levi Smith, El Presidente of Iowa City, or of Iowa Black Hole. And it's going to be at Two Dogs Pubs, 1705 South First Avenue, Iowa City, Iowa. And that's where you're going to meet up with my boy to meet up with the TBH Black Hole for Iowa. Let's go, baby. How are you, my brother?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Go Hawks.
Hey.
Man.
Dude. Yo, guys. So we're here tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about TBH Iowa.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
Hey, you guys have been with us on the Raider Hookup for a couple episodes now. Last time we had TBH Denver, they came out and told us what they had going on. Now, hey, we got Levi on the show to tell us what TBH Iowa's all about, how they were created, what they got going on, and things that they got going on in the future. So, first of all, Levi, congratulations on getting your bar, on being set up at Two Dogs down there, in Iowa City. I know it's a tough thing outside the city. So congratulations on that, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Two Dogs is a great place. We like to say Iowa, we're Midwest, so a lot of Midwest love. And we just felt real home right there at Two Dogs. So we really appreciate them letting us come in, set up shop in the back, kind of get our own little black hole area. So we have our own area. We got the TVs. So it's a great experience, and hope to see more of you Raider fans there. Come down to Two Dogs when we see on Sundays, silver and black, take it out there on the field.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait. Yo, Iowa City, the whole state of Iowa. Y'all already know where it is. If you want to catch the Raider game with the family, with the crew, with the TBH family, hey, Iowa City, Two Dogs. You go down there, you have some good drinks, you get with some good people, and you have you a good time, baby.
100%.
So, Levi, tell us a little bit about how you guys started, because I'll be like, let's be real. I'll be like, you guys are in Iowa.
Right.
I'll be like, we had told them we're just talking about it.
Right. It's an interesting story. I mean, Iowa, no professional teams whatsoever in the big leagues, right? So we got minor league stuff. We got arena football, minor league baseball, minor league hockey. So we do have that. But when it comes to like the NFL, Iowa represents all 32 teams. And you get a lot of the NFC North and whatnot. You got Packers, Bears, Vikings. But there is a very deep roots of the Raiders nation here in Iowa. So I myself, I grew up in a Chiefs family. So I'm the black sheep, black and silver, silver and black. My family gives me a hard time. I mean, my family's from Kansas. So they're like, how did you become a Raiders fan? And I said, I probably became a Raiders fan one day because in Iowa, we don't get the Raiders games unless they play a Midwest team. So it had to be a slobber knocker of a game where the Raiders and Chiefs were playing back in the day, probably the early 80s. And the Raiders were just pummeling those Chiefs and just pummeling them in the ground. And I said, man, I like that. That's awesome. And I like the Pirate. I like that. So the Shield was that, and that's what sold it. So, but back to the TBH chapter, my bucket list personally was to visit Oakland before they left and went to Vegas. So I went to the second to last game in Oakland when we played the Titans. And I reached out, social media. Grillarilla was one. Violator was another one. Darth Raider was another one. Whole bunch of other just Raid diehard fans that I've been was chatting with, and they said, "Meet me here in this lot, TBH. That's the place to be." So I'm like, "All right." So I got out to Oakland, pulled right up, and it was like I was family. This moment I stepped in, I was treated with open arms. It was like we knew each other from
Yes,
day one.
sir.
I felt really. It felt to me like I was back at home, like Iowa friendly, as we call it. So started talking to more people, met Cisco, and then as I'm talking to others, I'm like, "Hey, where are you from?" And I shit you not, these 4 people were from Iowa, in Oakland, in the black hole. I'm like, man, this is no way, and they was. So they were. We tried to get a chapter started, just didn't get a lot of buy-in from people out here because we're spread out. Iowa, I mean, I live in a town of 25,000 people. The folks that I met, they're in about 50,000, and they're an hour north of me, so we're still an hour drive. Didn't get the push that we wanted. Still became a member. Was just a member of the black hole itself. And when COVID hit, we weren't able to go to games, so stayed at home, watched the games, empty fields. But when fans got back, my family and I took my wife and daughter to their first game. We down to Indianapolis, and this was when we were on that run when Chucky got fired, right? Or he was let go. So we were on that run. We were winning. We were winning right in the end. Right in the end, going overtime. We went to Indy, met more people. Met you probably know them: Double G, Rhino, Wolf, Hollywood.
Yep.
Met Hollywood for the first time. So we met all these groups. We finally met together, and we win. And we get home, and my wife says, "Tickets aren't that much." I said, "For what?" She goes, "To go to Vegas." So I got on a plane to Vegas the next week, and we played the Chargers. That was that hellacious game where we win. It was a tie. We both in, or we win and we're in, and we won. And the night before at the Black Hole Party, I'm wearing my vest, and it has Iowa on the back, and I get tapped on the shoulder. Lo and behold, 2 of those 4 people were at that same party from Iowa. And that was the moment forward that we said, we're starting this chapter no matter what. We got buy-in. We got people from Cedar Rapids, which is an hour away. We've got folks that are from Des Moines, which is 2 hours west. I myself in Muscatine, where I live, family that's in Wilton, 11 miles north. So we are like nomad. We're all around, and we got our chapter started.
Yeah.
We had the same people in Oakland and then in Vegas in 2 different times run into each other from Iowa. And we said, that's it. So the bond became strong, and that's where it was. We got our 10 members. We started it. We're growing slow because, we're not a big metropolis. So we're pulling everybody in from the state here. But that's how we started our TBH chapter in Iowa, was meeting and greeting in Vegas, and it started in Oakland.
You know what though, and I think Tony and I have talked about this as well. Is you said something that was key when you went to Oakland. TBH brings you in like family.
Oh, it was. It was.
I'd
It was.
be
It
like,
was literally. It was embracing hugs. I mean, you thought we knew each other
yeah,
our entire life. It was. You need something to drink. You want something to eat. Hey, here's so and so. I mean, it was introduce. Raider Man met him. Met all these fans, all these legends, and it was just like you knew who they were.
no, I know, I got you, man. I mean, like, that's the same way I think I was. And Tony told me the same thing. He was like, yeah, man. He's like, ever since we've been in, it's always like you're with family. No matter where you're at, no matter what city you go to, if you know that guy, if you know somebody there, it's always like, hey, man, come over,
Yep,
stay at my house. Oh,
hundred
you
percent.
don't got to go over there. So that's definitely been something that I've enjoyed experiencing because I'm like, yo, I'm about to go see my man up there in Washington,
Let's go. I
August
can't. But I'm
17th.
telling you,
Yes,
we about to
sir.
get. Oh man, they ain't even gonna know what happened.
Yeah. So, hey, just so everybody knows, like I just said, the Pacific Northwest is going to be holding a blackout. It's going to be Portland, Spokane, and Seattle. So, that Northwest region, August 17th, if you want to come and black out and enjoy some time in Seattle, hey, let's go. Talk to my
Um,
man right here. And I think Seattle's leading it, correct?
yeah, Seattle. See, it's what we do is we rotate the different because we have 3 chapters so close. we don't want to have an event in the same time frame as one of the other chapters, because then we're battling against each other for people that have to travel too. And sometimes if you travel to one week, you might not travel to the next one the next week. So we just decided to like rotate. So like Portland started it, then it went Seattle, then it went Spokane, back to Portland. Now it's back in Seattle, and then like we just rotate and we just host it that way. So
No, I got you, man. And I think, hey, Levi, anytime you got something going on, let a brother know. We're going to put the word out, and we definitely going to try to make it up there, man.
Awesome. For sure.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Levi. You said, hey, you've been to a bunch of games. The reason the black hole brought you in
Yeah.
was said, hey, it's like family. Now you guys decided, boom, we started our chapter. But now, as you started your chapter and you've done things, what are some of the difficulties that you've encountered? And what are some of the things that you're like, yo, I'm really proud of us being able to get through this? One, I know the distance for you guys is incredible. If you guys got people driving 2 hours,
Yeah.
that right there is crazy commitment from people because, getting 2 hours to the game and 2 hours back from the game, that
Yeah.
ain't no joke.
No. And myself, our first year was, again, it was the bare minimum. We had our 10 members. That's the minimum to have. And I was driving an hour north, and the gentleman was coming an hour and a half south, and then 2 hours from the west. Um, so for us, it's, having the mobility, the difficulties of not being in like one large metropolis. So there's probably more fans over in the right in the center, right in Des Moines, and having that larger city, we could probably draw a bigger crowd and a bigger chapter, but that's not where I live. And being able to be there here in Iowa City at Two Dogs, we're hoping, to grow more, to get the more awareness out, and we're hoping that our difficulty is our growth, and we got the same crew, we got the same folks that are coming in since the beginning, and we're just trying to grow. We're at the age of our life. Our daughter's in high school, so there's sports, and a lot of us, in our 40s, we've got children that are in events. So that's another struggle, is not everybody's available to show up, on Sundays. They're traveling for baseball, they're traveling for soccer, or whatever it has be. Family's family, and we get that. And that's why we want to say this is a family friendly environment at Two Dogs. It's great food. It's a restaurant with the opportunity to have a bar and have these games to watch.
It,
So it's awesome that way.
hold
yeah.
on a
So
second. Hold on a second.
Oh, I do.
Tell him. Tell him.
Yeah. So, hey, I was talking with Tony, okay? And we talk about this because a lot of people have the misconception that all the black hole clubs are at a bar, okay? And we are not at bars, guys. What we want to let people know is that we are at family friendly locations that serve food
yep,
that have alcohol,
right,
guys.
right,
We
And that's
100%.
just
something
talked
that
about this like seriously 5 minutes before going on air. I said we're a family
Yeah,
friendly establishment with a
right,
bar, and he goes,
right. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm 45. My daughter's 16. If it's a 21 establishment, she can't get in, and she's a Raiders fan. By proxy. I mean, she's been raised this way ever since. She's got her own jacket and patches that she's collected from others as well. So, if she can't go and hang out, then I'm not going to go there. So that was one big thing when we did when we changed our location. Our first location was a family friendly place in Cedar Rapids, but we moved it again, like I said, to Iowa City last year to be a little more central located for others to drive. So not everyone is driving, long distance. And we went to different establishments as a group. So we had probably 15 of us. We all met at multiple. We went to multiple locations, and we hopped. We went to one place, looked at it, scoped it out, had a couple snacks because we want to try their food. And we were like, all right, we kind of tallied down our votes, and then we went to the next place and did the exact same thing. And we went to Two Dogs, the last place. We sat down, and we didn't even have to order food. We were just like, this is it. This is the place right here. We didn't even try their food. we just sat down and we knew that was the right place. Just the atmosphere, the service that came over. They saw that we were all Raiders fans, and they said, "Man, I got friends that come in here and watch the games. I'll tell them about you." So, that just helped as well. And again, families are sitting down watching the rest of the games, other teams watching their games as well, because it's a family establishment. No one's getting turned away because you're underage. It's a family place that has great food, and it also happens to sell beer as well. And I've got people in the chapter that don't drink. They're like, I don't drink. I'm like, great, show up. I don't
The
care.
same thing here.
Right. I mean,
Yep.
Right.
that's your choice. There's times I don't drink because, I'm like, all right, I'm driving home. So, we're adults. We got
Yeah.
to take
No,
about
absolutely.
ourselves. And it's like, I'm going to go have fun, hang out with my family and my other family, my black hole family. So, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely,
No.
we're not out there, you know, slinging around in bars and starting fights. We're making sure it's, hey, have fun, cheer on the Raiders.
Yes, sir.
They play the Chiefs. We're yelling back at the Chiefs fans.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it, baby.
Oh, and by
All
the way,
right.
real quick,
Yeah.
before you get started on the next thing, with the Chiefs and the Raiders that you were talking about, best Christmas commercial ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
By far,
I
best
have
commercial.
I went to Kansas for Thanksgiving, and I wore my holiday sweater, and it's the one that lights up. So if you've seen Deadpool Raider and his sweater that he has too,
Yeah.
he and I in Oakland, I had that sweater on, and we looked at each other. We're pointing at each other in the end zone area, and we had the same sweater on. So it was good. So I wore that to our Thanksgiving dinner because we knew we were playing, and everyone was saying, "Oh, we're gonna get whooped by the Chiefs," and I made sure they all got a text message on Christmas Day.
I
Best
like it.
Christmas ever.
Yeah, that's all we gotta say, man. But yo, again, guys, we are all at family friendly places. Hey, you got two dogs in Iowa City.
Yes, sir.
You got Flaming Joe's in Spokane. You got the Eagles Club here in Western CO. That we are all family friendly locations. That hey, guys, we are all just a bunch of Raiders fans that want to get together, have a good time, be with your family, and enjoy games. All right. So, hey, we are not a bunch of crazy hooligans. We get back to the community and we try to do the right thing for our silver and black and represent the way that we know how. All right, guys. So, check this out. Our boy, Levi, got selected by the Raiders, okay, to be a representative at the draft this year. And this year, our boy is going to give you exclusive behind the scenes looks of what's going on for the draft and things that he's going to bring to you are only things that he's going to be able to see. So, Levi, tell us a little bit about how you won this and how this came about.
Oh man, I felt like I won the lottery in my eyes. So last year, I made the trip to Kansas City for the draft. First draft I've ever been to, and I'm like, why not? Kansas City is a 5.5 hour drive, so drive down to Kansas City, meet up with Hollywood, met up with a few others. Captain Jack was there, so the three of us we're hanging out and we're walking around. We're getting interviewed. Everyone's taking pictures of us. They say, because Raiders, we dress, and when we dress right, and we were getting pictures by everyone. But we walk our way down to the draft theater down below, down by the memorial area, and that's where you see behind the gate. There's this. I'm going to call it. It's what's called the inner circle, and the inner circle is where all the delegates for the 32 teams are. The ones you see on TV that are right up front, not the C in the back, up front, right there in the trenches, and you'll see some
Yeah.
the crazy guys. Seahawk fans, the Dallas Cowboy guy that's got the big like bowling ball head with the lights. Met him. He's Wrecking Ball. That's his name. And so you meet all these different fans from all the other teams, but you had to wait in line, and someone finally came up. They're like, "We need 5 Raiders fans," and we're like, "Right here, you got 3 of us." So we go in. It was Captain Jack, Hollywood, myself, Baron, Power Raider, MC Raider, and we're all in. We get taken behind the line, and they're like, "All right, you're in line as a backfill." We're like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "Well, everybody up there on the stage area, the theater, they've paid for their tickets. They're in there. If they leave, we fill you in." Okay.
Okay.
This day 1, round 1, Raiders, we have our pick. We're waiting. Raiders pick. We're still not in. We're still waiting in the line. And eventually they said, "All right, you guys go on in." So the Raiders made their pick for round 1. We didn't get any more picks in the round 1 when we picked Tyree. But we got in, and now we're on the floor, and we're seeing everything else happening. Fast forward to the next day, day 2. We get down there a little earlier. We get in line, and we're moved in real fast. They're like, "All right, we need you guys in here." It's again Hollywood, Captain Jack, myself, IE Raider was there, so he's there. Jesse, we all get into the floor early, and we're sitting there, and our gal pal down in Kansas City, Dolores Chapa, she's in there, as well as Black Widow, and they were there in the inner circle to start with. So we're there day 2. We're in there all the time. We see it. We get on TV. We're happy. So how did I get there this year? So I'm like, how does one? So I messaged Black Widow. Black Widow says, "I got it from somebody else, a season ticket holder." And I said, "All right, cool. I get it. Not, you got lucky too." So I decided to take matters in my own hands, and I emailed one of the sales reps for the Raiders, just friendly fire. And I said, "Hey, my name's Levi. I'm a diehard Raider fan. Went to Kansas City, got into the inner circle last year, but we had to wait in line. How does one get down there without having to wait in line?" And the gentleman's like, "It's usually season ticket holders, lottery deals, so whatnot. But I'll keep you in mind if something comes available." I said, "All right, great, appreciate it, thanks, go Raiders." Hear nothing. Month goes by, 5 weeks goes by, nothing. I'm like, well, is what it is. Nothing happening. Probably the 6th week, first weekend of March, I get an email from the gentleman I sent. He said, "Hey, I kept your email safe, remembered what you had said. I was chosen," I meaning the sales rep, "to put together the inner circle for the Raiders. It's filled with season ticket holders as well as some Michigan living folks, Raiders fans. I have 1 spot available. Do you want it?" And I couldn't reply fast enough to saying yes. I mean, I said something to my wife and daughter. They were planning on going to the draft as well. And my daughter, as soon as I said there's only 1 left, she's like, "You got to do it, Dad. You got to do it. You got to do it. They want you to be there." And I'm like, "All right." So I replied back, "Yes, 100%, I'm in." So it's like literally, it was luck of the draw. I thanked him, tremendously. I
Right.
got lucky. It was on some Zoom calls with other,
Oh,
and so I just got my tickets Thursday. They're in my Ticketmaster deal. It says Inner Circle. I have to be available all throughout the entire draft, day 1 and day 2. Those are things that the requirements. Send headshot with no hat, no makeup, no face paint, so they could send the credentials to the NFL. So make sure. But I'll able to meet one of the other sales reps. He's going to be there, as well as the director of the Raiders. She's going to be there. We're going to meet up and be able to chit chat and hopefully have a great time, and ask if I can get on the list permanently for all the other drafts. But that's how it
Tell
happened.
them
And
to make that move and go get Jaden Daniels for me.
I'm trying.
all right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it happened. It was luck of the draw, but that's the story. I emailed him. I asked him. Didn't think I was going to get anything anywhere with it, but the gentleman, he said, "I remembered you. I kept your email. I got 1 spot. Do you want it?" And I'm like, yeah, let's go. So I'll be
Oh
repping
man, that's awesome.
TBH all the time. I got it on my vest. Everyone knows that I got that. Who I am. where I'll be. I'm getting text messages tonight already. What time am I coming in? Where I'll be? What's
Yes,
going on?
sir.
So I leave tomorrow about 2 o'clock Central Time, 6.5 hour drive. So I'll get there about 9 o'clock, 9:30 Eastern Time. Meet up with my boy Raider Wolf and Raging Rhino. So we hanging out with those two in the Airbnb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait. All right. Hey, one last question before we go, Levi.
Yeah.
And hey, you're gonna be at the draft,
Yep.
right?
Oh yeah.
I want to hear what Levi thinks the Raiders are gonna do in the draft. And if hey, what makes Levi happy? And he says, hey man, you know what? If we accomplish these three things,
That's it.
I'm satisfied.
All right. So
Hit us with it, Levi.
man, I'll tell you. So what I'm thinking, we're at 13, and I don't think we're gonna. I know they made some calls out to the Commanders, but I don't think we're gonna get number 2. Possibility number 3. If we can get number 3, we're gonna pick a quarterback. Which one? I want Jaden Daniels as well as everyone else, but I think he's gone number 2. We'll take the
Okay,
third
okay.
one available. If we stick at 13, don't reach. Don't try to get a quarterback that could be good. If it's not the right fit, there's an opportunity. Take that 13, trade it back, maybe get a couple other picks, see what we got second round of any of those availables. Bo Nix could be a possible. He could be in second round. Penix Jr. could still be in second round. So don't waste it on the first round pick if you can get him in the second round. That way, we have that option. Or let Minshew Mania battle it out. Man, I watched him on Mad Max's on the Rush this day. He wants it. He wants to go. So he put up some numbers. Let him dog it out. Let him build that room. Bring in somebody to support that O line. We got a great defense build up. So let's get some O line, beef it up, protect the quarterback, and let him battle it out. Man, I think Aiden did a good job. Is he going to be the franchise? Not in my eyes, but I think if you got a full off season, plus with him and Gardner, I think we got a strong team. So I can only cheer for what we got. I will support whoever's at the helm. I'm excited AP's here. I'm excited that Graham is back. We got Max. Pick up Wilkins. Oh my gosh, we got some moves, and we're gonna make a statement. So
Yes, sir. Let's go. I cannot wait for the season to start already, baby. When does the schedule drop?
May 9th.
Let's go.
May 9th. May 9th is what I see dropping. I say this Thursday night is the kickoff for this season. It's the draft. Yes, we still have to wait for the schedule, but that's the draft. We will be so excited on who we pick. No matter who it is, we're going to get behind them. We're going to say they're a Raider. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Just like
always a Raider, baby.
Once a member, always a member. We're here.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today. And guys, stay tuned for all exclusive footage from Levi. And our boy Tony B is going to be on tomorrow night's show. And we're going to be talking draft. We're going to be talking a little bit of what Levi is going to be seeing behind the scenes and taking us behind. And we can't wait to have Levi back and tell us what happened. Tell us a little bit about what he saw and how that one-on-one interaction was. And hey, until then, though, it's all about one team, one nation. It's all about the Raiders. Let's go.